Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about Yellowstone episode number 4 of season 5.
Horses in Heaven.
It's the best I could figure it.
Wouldn't that be something?
Our episode 4 starts off with, doesn't do a whole lot of flashback, did it?
It might have said previously.
Maybe just a little.
Know.
You know, it kind of jumps in with, Beth because she got arrested at the last episode. So she's sitting in jail now. She starts talking to her cellmate, which that whole time she was talking to her, I was expecting it to be kind of like a setup. Because anytime on any TV show, when they're talking to somebody else, it's always somebody in there that's a plant that's trying to get information.
Why are they in there? Why are they?
This one turned out just to
She didn't really tell her anything, and she didn't.
No.
And nothing seemed to happen. We didn't even get the girl's name.
Jamie is there.
Yeah, he shows up to be her lawyer, I guess.
To get her out. He could care less about getting her out, though. He's just... For
John, yeah. And my guess is Rip called him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Then Beth, of course, instead of him telling her what she needs to do, Beth told him. Then she told him what he needed to go do.
You need to get me out.
Go get that woman. Which Jamie did a good job. He goes to see the prosecutor and
explains to him, that I guess a bar fight. There's no self-defense in a bar fight. Mm-hmm. And then it flashes to John in the Capitol. Helena?
Yeah, Helena.
Where the Capitol is. And he's, him and his assistant advisor or whatever she is.
Yeah, I don't know what she is. I assume she's an assistant. But yeah, they're walking and he tells her he's not going to the luncheon because there's no educators at the luncheon. It's a Thursday and they're all teaching school.
But when he's walking, they walk and he sees a group meeting. Yeah, that's what he has.
But it has the governor.
Who are they?
It's a policy advisors meeting.
Policy advisors for who?
For you.
How can my policy advisors have a meeting about policies without me?
Yeah, she doesn't know.
She's like, I don't know.
That's just what they do.
That's what happens.
Yeah. This is a state job, right? They're all leaning on shovels while one person does the work. But so John goes into the room because there's, 12, 14 people in the room at the table. He starts asking them questions about what they're doing, what they're advising on, what they're coming up with.
What their policies are they're discussing. And he doesn't like
any
what
of it.
Of course.
Yeah. He realizes they're not needed, I guess. That
he in his eyes, they're not needed.
Yeah, he can come up with his own advice for his own policies. Fires everybody. And that's what he says. He asked her how much by doing that money did it save the state. She says $1.6 million.
Yeah, probably about 1.6
in salary benefit.
He said, "Well, look at that. I just saved Montana."
But then he gets back to his office. Fish and Wildlife are in there. The
Rangers
game,
or whatever they
wardens, whatever they are, or asking him, telling him about. They show him the map and where they found
the wolves.
And, not the wolves, but they found the collar.
Yeah, okay.
So,
but where the wolves have been, where they tracked.
John just calls Rip.
Yes, sir. We had any wolves messing with the cattle?
Wolves? No, sir. Fish and Wildlife came by asking the same thing.
All right. There you have it.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of gutsy.
Yeah, and I don't know how, because as far as we knew anyway, John and him hadn't had any discussion about it. So I don't know how Rip knew exactly what to say to. Yeah, so he knew. I mean, they both knew, but going on the assumption somebody else was there and he was answering. Because he didn't tell him you're on speaker or anything. He just...
You never say anything over the phone.
Yeah. So, so that's not going to go away is what they were saying.
But then Jamie calls John and tells him about what happened with Beth because he didn't realize it, which is odd that this is like
nobody
the next day.
Called him. I don't know. And you'd think his assistant or somebody would say because they would have maybe heard about it and gotten calls already. But
anywhere else, it would have front page news if the governor's daughter is arrested for assault in a bar.
Right.
John's stressing a little bit, so he calls Linnell to go to lunch.
Yeah. Ask her if she's in town, and she was like, "Oh, yes, I might be, and my my lunch is free now for you."
Then,
See, I consider Linnell his girlfriend.
I think she's just kind of an advisor. She's a real advisor.
I guess.
That he's going to hook up with sometimes. Cuts to, the lady that Beth
hit
up.
in the bar.
Her coming into the courthouse.
Her name was Haley Brewer.
And Jamie talks to her.
Ms. Brewer,
That one.
I understand you'd like to press.
Very much.
Now, I feel I must point out that by doing so, you are exposing yourself to prosecution.
How am I doing that?
Well, there is no self-defense claim in a bar fight. I assume you had been drinking, and I understand you approached Miss Dutton and instigated the incident.
I didn't instigate anything.
Let me see. Yeah, you approached Miss Dutton and stated, "I'm taking your husband home. You can come with us and watch, or he can tell you about it tomorrow." Are those not your words?
I mean, I was kidding.
She didn't find it very funny.
No shit.
No, she did.
Not at all.
Making statements or actions that threaten harm to another or make them feel they're in danger is assault. You don't have to hit someone to commit assault. You just have to present a threat. You presented the threat. So if you press charges, the state must press charges against you. And since you're not a resident of Montana, you present a flight risk and your bail will be withheld. You understand what that means?
So she just gets away with it.
She didn't get away with anything. She spent the night in jail and she's going to be charged with disorderly conduct. Choice is yours.
Still seems a little shady.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't wait to get out of this state. Those fucking hillbillies.
Well, the feeling is mutual.
May I leave?
Please.
Please.
Considering her dad is the governor and he's whatever Jamie is.
State's attorney.
Yes, it's attorney. Yeah, she's not going to be in jail for long.
No.
If, if
But
anything.
that is a little shady.
He threatens her with going to
Yeah,
jail.
Because
too,
I don't know if a jury would find that.
I mean, she did kind of instigate it. I mean, she
instigated,
approached
but she
it.
didn't threaten her. And
Well,
he's
that's
making,
true.
because Beth would be able to defend herself if she was being threatened, or it would come across that way as an attack.
Yeah, she was definitely antagonizing her, though.
Right, but that's still not a defense.
Well, no, I'm not saying Beth
for
should have.
violence.
I'm not saying Beth should have punched her or hit her over the head with the bottle, whatever she did. But
Well, both.
yeah, she did do both.
Kicked her and kneed her, and
Yeah, and even after it was over,
right.
punched her again after they were all outside. That one was definitely not.
Yeah, that wasn't instigated at all.
No.
But yeah, the prosecutor, he really liked that because, saves him a ton of time.
Yeah.
No paperwork, he said. So, all of it was kind of leading up, ripping them, coming across them out there digging the graves and them jumping in to help dig the graves. And
Well, that's what Rip told him. If you just told me, I would have done it all
Right.
for you or had somebody do it for you.
But he said it was all part of the ceremony, the ritual. Mo asks Rip about the dead horse and tells him that he wants to bury him beside the boy.
Yeah.
Which is where we get the overall title at the end when John and
Yeah.
Rip are talking about the horse being
Horses,
buried there.
Right. But Rip asked him, "Can I ask you why
Right.
you want to?" And he said, "Well, you can ask, but I'm
Yeah,
not going to
not
tell
gonna
you."
tell you.
Which is weird too. But then it jumps back to John.
And now,
Yeah,
talking
at their meeting for lunch, and she just gives him advice. Well, he says that I don't remember his wording, but something about putting out some fires or something. He had several things going on, and so he tells her about Beth. She tells him, well, if she does get time or whatever, that he can pardon her. If he pardons her, then that kind of looks bad too. And then
he doesn't care about that though. But
no, because I guess he realizes she's probably not going to jail, but he gets an idea in his head because you can see he's not talking about Beth anymore, even though Linnell doesn't clue
Right.
into that because he was like, I can pardon whoever I want.
because I thought he had to wait till the end of his term to do it.
Yeah,
So that's
well,
what
he thought so too.
yeah.
And she's like, no, you don't have to wait. They go on and talk about the fish and wildlife coming. She's like, oh, avoid them. And he's like,
Yeah.
oops, too late. But she tells him to get an environmentalist to advise him and not one of his rancher buddies.
Because she explains to him about basically Montana is a business and he's the
Right.
CEO.
Yeah.
This is as much your legacy as that ranch.
A smart woman, Linnell.
Oh, you're just figuring that out? Just enjoy your lunch, John. It's on me.
I guess for the environmentalist is Summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, Beth gets out of jail.
Yeah.
So, and Jamie goes to, he's just waiting on her because he knew.
Yeah, she gets out.
He was,
yeah. But then, of course, she complains that she still got
community service. She has to pick up trash on the highway.
Yeah, and she was like, really? Kind of thing. But he says he can't give her a ride. He has to go to something. But she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? But then you see she's in the car.
Right.
So, and she's throwing all his papers in the back seat and stuff. And then she realizes there's a car seat. In the back seat. And so he realizes he's going to have to tell her. And so he tells her he has a kid. It's a son.
I didn't realize that he hadn't told anybody. I mean, because I don't think anybody then knows. Because I think if John would have known, she would have known.
Yeah.
And I don't think him and any of them communicate at all. And I think only thing him and John are actually communicating on work, politics, things.
Considering all the stuff, you kind of get that, though, that he's their attorney. He's not.
Right. But he's not a part of the family anymore.
Yeah. But anyway, so she flips out because she tries to start choking him, and he drives on the road.
Right. And ends up almost wrecking, but spins out, and then she gets out.
Starts just walking off, which he chases her, but then she tells him, what did she say? Something about taking care of his kid.
She's going to take him.
She says, tell him you love him or kiss him or something because that'll be the last time you see him because.
But yes, reading some of the Facebook groups and things, a lot of people talking about that. A lot of them were thinking that it was that she's going to take his child, like she's going to have it, and some were that she's going to kill his child.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to take that either. I was like, it could go either way on that.
Yeah, she feels that she's I don't know if it's owed
yeah,
a child, or if she just wants him to feel the loss of a child.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I was very conflicted about that. Jamie freaks out then and runs back to his car, and then he drives off. But as he's driving towards her.
Right.
And she has to step out of the way. And I don't know if she hadn't have stepped out of the way, if he would have hit her or not.
Because it was close.
Yeah, it was.
So, Beth gets a ride. She starts hitchhiking because...
Well, she didn't really hitchhike. She was just standing there walking, and the man pulls, just stop. And then she realizes that he had a daughter in the car, and the little girl says, "Mom's gonna kill you, Dad." Yeah. Beth was like, "Oh, is she the jealous type?" Yeah. And she says, "Well, she wears the pants in the relationship, if you know what I mean."
Yeah, she's like, "I know exactly what you mean." But yeah, then John comes home to the ranch and sees all the cars there for the funeral.
Yeah.
Because Monica and Casey, where they had mentioned last episode that they were wanting to bury baby John there on the ranch.
Yeah. Well, and they picked out a place because that's what John and Casey went to go pick out, where, so.
Up by the tree. So
yeah.
Tree's getting full. Monica, where she cut her hair off during her freak out. She puts I don't know what that symbolizes.
I was going to say, I don't know what that either, but then you see Beth in the distance watching at the tree and John walking up to her, and John and Beth talk for a minute, and he said, "Well, I didn't know," and she said, "I don't think he wanted anybody to know."
Right.
But then while they're standing there, John decides it's a good time to talk to Beth about what happened at the bar.
Right.
Because what did he say? We're going to have a long discussion about it later.
Yeah.
And she said something back to him, and he said, "Okay, we're going to have a quick discussion now."
Yeah.
And he just tells her to find some impulse control.
But yeah, she says that she wants, when she dies, I guess, have her ashes thrown to the wind. I don't know if that has something to do with she just doesn't care because she'll be dead, or she doesn't really want to be
all those people there and doing
and all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if the ranch itself doesn't mean anything to her. Because to John, he wants everybody to be at the ranch forever.
I guess.
So when you die, you're still here forever.
Yeah.
But to her, I don't think she's ever really had any attachment to the ranch.
Going back to when John told her to get some impulse control, you could tell that really bothered her that she disappointed her dad, though.
Yeah. But then, rainwater then comes up to John.
Yeah, he sees him and
He says grief isn't meant to be shared, but comfort is.
yeah, because he said something about I wasn't told about it, wish I'd known, but he said,
Right.
yeah.
He tells him, asking about the airport, because I guess the airport cost a lot of people. The possibility of the airport being there was going to be a lot of jobs for a lot of people.
Which
there.
he said this isn't the time or the place, but we
Right.
need to talk about it. Ask if they could meet tomorrow. Well, and John tells him, yeah, at the Capitol or something.
Yeah,
But then he said no at the reservation.
Because, the people there need to see him, I guess, cares. And then John goes over to Monica because Monica is sitting mourning, I guess.
Yeah. And he tells her he understands because he had a brother that died.
His name Peter.
Yeah.
Lived for 18 hours. So I got that clip too.
I'll tell you something I never told anybody. I had a brother for about 18 hours. His name was Peter. He was born early. His little heart wasn't strong enough. Not much they could do back in those days. And, not a lot they can do now. So they just gave him back to my mother. Doctors hoped and we prayed, and neither worked. And it changed my mother and hardened her. She never tried to have children again. Years later, I was grown and Lee had just been born. Both my parents are looking at him, taking turns holding him. My father got white as a ghost, looked at my mother and said, Peter lived a perfect life. All he saw of this planet was you, and all he knew was you loved him. That boy lived a perfect life, Monica. We're the only ones who know it was brief. All he knew was you, that you loved him.
That also seems kind of odd. It was one of those things that is never told to anybody. But that's what we looked up earlier. Saw the flashback from, but it was, I think it's season 3, when John is talking to his dad, which is Dabney Coleman's one that plays him in that scene. When he's, I guess, old. And that's what his dad says, that he misses his mother. Yeah. And he says, and your brother.
Yeah.
Then John also goes over to talks to Casey.
Yeah.
And gives him his badge back.
Tells him he needs to, this isn't time to not be bringing in a paycheck.
Right.
You got to support your family.
Tells him he doesn't really have to work. Yeah, he needs to keep getting
the badge. At least for now until he gets another job, I guess. So.
Which is still another crooked thing to kind of do to just takes money from them.
Well, but a lot of jobs give you a grieving period. So.
Right.
But, it's only been a few days, so.
Right. But I was thinking he was implying, like, I don't know how long.
Eventually, they're going to have somebody, though, to fill that position, because somebody has to do it, though. So then it goes back. You see John sitting on the porch at the ranch, and Rip comes in looking a little tired.
Yeah. Says he's been digging graves.
Yeah.
And, John tells him the horses are supposed to be buried in the field. I guess because they buried the horse with the baby, wondering why.
Yeah, he said, well, maybe so the boy has something to ride in heaven.
Yeah, that's where we get that clip.
Horses in heaven.
It's the best I could figure it.
Wouldn't that be something?
John asked him about the wolves, and he tells him what happened about that. So you knew then they hadn't discussed it before the phone call that he made.
Right.
So it was like, okay.
Yeah, she...
Didn't you tell me something about that, though, at the ranch, that they went?
I was listening to one other podcast with...
that they said that was Teeter, actually...
The one that plays Teeter, her, and Jimmy, because he does the official podcast for Yellowstone. And that's what she was talking about, filming that they were actually doing it. The branding and then castration and they were actually doing all of the real work for the real ranch, or a real ranch where they were filming that at.
I thought that was kind of neat there.
Yeah. But it was like an all-day job. And so then Summer gets released. John, where John pardoned her. And he's waiting outside for her. And it's not just him. It's like his whole caravan of vehicles anywhere he travels. So
security, whatever they are.
Tells her that, she was released, but supervised released. And he's the supervisor. So she has to, doesn't have to stay with him, but I guess.
Well, she said, where am I staying? And she said at the Capitol or whatever, and he was like, no. And she was like, I'm not staying at the ranch with your, what'd she call her?
Crazy daughter, something.
Yeah, something about psycho. Yeah, I don't know.
Schizophrenic psycho.
Yeah, I don't know what she called her. And that's where she's staying.
Yeah.
She's not thrilled about it. But, because he tells her she's hardly ever there, I guess, because she's supposed to be with him most of the time.
Right.
And she says she's not sleeping with him. And he says that's fine. Their relationship can be purely business. So.
Yeah. Runs into her in the house later on.
Right.
And she kind of comes back at Beth a little harder this time. And I don't know if being in jail for the last, 8 or 9 months has kind of toughened her up a little.
Or she's like, I'm going to live here. I'm not going to put up with your crap. But yeah, which might be some both.
Yeah, her and Beth still don't get along, but I guess they realize that there's nothing that either one of them can really do about it. So.
Yeah. But then it goes to Jamie meeting Sarah Atwood because they had planned to
last season.
It was supposed to be a business meeting. It was a date, but anyway.
I think she's trying to set him up for something.
Something. I don't know what her. But she definitely is.
Or she's just wanting to
get him
on her side,
maybe,
and just
so she can manipulate him, kind of thing. But
spill some dirt on John.
Yeah, but she says she needs to reverse John's decision or get some money back or something. That she says her plan is to keep it all in the news politically, so she can kill him politically,
right?
Which because John doesn't care about that because
he's
that's
not running again.
Yeah, because I was like, do you not realize he doesn't care about that?
But I thought it was odd that because they end up going into the bathroom and
well, first they go to the bar and she gets him drunk,
right? But then they end up in the bathroom. But the odd part to me is they're in there having sex and Beth comes in, knows at them, and she starts going through her bag and takes a picture of her ID. And I guess Beth doesn't know who she is, but then it shows when Beth goes to look it up, that's not her real name,
right?
So I didn't know if her working for
Market Equities,
that if they know that she's just kind of like a cleaner that comes in and takes care of problems. I
don't know. I mean, that's what they call her too. So
right.
It's not like they're calling her something else and then she's calling herself. Yeah, I don't know. But I realized that Beth is there at the bar watching Jamie because, or this is what my thought was. She's waiting for him to go see his kid. So she's following him where he goes.
Yeah.
So that she can wait for his kid. Maybe. I mean, maybe she's just keeping tabs on him.
Where is he living now? Because since he sold his ranch.
I don't know. He doesn't live at the ranch except for on the weekend because Beth said he had to be there on the weekend.
Right.
Which we've yet to see him actually there, but maybe it hadn't been a weekend yet.
Yeah, she runs into Summer in the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, that's because she can't sleep and she's, well, she wakes Rip up and he says, what are you doing? And she said, thinking. And he tells her to think about something different. I was like, yeah, that doesn't work for me either, Rip.
No.
After she sees Summer, I guess after looking up that for the license, dealing with all that, and then seeing Summer, she said she's not something about not gonna be sober for the starting the day sober. So you see her drinking Tito's before the sun comes up.
Yeah. You put that it ends with her seeing smoke in the mountains, which I didn't know what that was from.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if they're gonna show us anything or you just saw the smoke coming up out of the mountain. I was like, what's burning?
Or if it's just a real heavy fog.
Yeah, maybe I just thought it was something burning. But it didn't look like fog. It looked like smoke.
Yeah, I think this whole episode was just, they keep focusing on death. Pretty much the entire first 4 episodes have all been on, the first episode was the wreck.
And the baby died.
Yeah. And the second one was kind of the beginning of that. And then going through the fact that he did die. And then last episode, I guess the wolves died.
And the horse
died. Or John's horse.
Yeah, John's horse. Well, nobody died on this one.
No, but this was all around death, about the funeral and burying the horse and burying the baby.
Okay. I feel like we're fueling some flames from some fires, getting ready for some stuff. It looks like the clip that they showed you for next week was there's going to be some more stuff. Going to start some more issues with some more.
Yeah, so I mean the wolf stuff has to come back on John still.
Yeah.
The Sarah Atwood has to do something with Jamie.
Yeah.
Beth has to do something with Jamie.
Beth's gonna figure out who
Summer.
she is, though. Hopefully before Jamie.
But Rip keeps kind of getting pushed off to the side.
Well,
as far as,
yeah, and he's not liking that. But Rip keeps saying basically it's it's just delaying stuff. It's happening.
Right.
The ranch is going away.
So I don't know if this is going to be the last season of this. I don't know. I don't know. If John dies, it definitely would be.
One would think.
And I think if either Beth or Jamie die now, that's kind of eliminates, half
Some of the conflict
Yeah.
and some of the stuff that, yeah.
So I don't see either one of them without finalizing the show. I could see one or both or all of everybody die.
Yeah.
To close the show out. I see it more as John and Casey and Monica. I don't know where their story goes from here.
Yeah.
Not Taylor Sheridan, so I don't know how to write it anyway. So, but I did see a thing today which doesn't have a whole lot to do with this, but we talked, about Tulsa King, one of the other show that he does that I saw a little while ago, that they renewed it for a second season.
So he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's going to do at least one more season,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
This was episode 4, and so we've got 3 more episodes before the break.
Okay.
And 1923
Starts
that night. I don't remember how long the break was. I think till the week after Christmas. So it's not real long.
Real
it's
long
only
break.
like
Okay.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So then we'll have 7 more episodes of season 5, because this one, is a 14 episode one, I think I saw.
Okay.
And,
Because they had been just 10 episodes. So.
Because that would only be 10 more episodes. If you said, okay, he's going to wrap it up in this season, that'd be 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It's possible. They wrapped 1883 up a lot faster than that.
The whole show was in.
Right. 2 episodes left. I was like, they can't end it this way. We have to, there's still so much more to do.
They just quickly got there.
Right. Yeah. Be sure to, like we say, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you find out the next time we upload. That's all I have. Anything else?
Nope.
No? All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.